Welcome to Art of Austin interview number 342. Today we have Fabian Rey. So thanks for agreeing to be our featured artist this month. Super excited to have you here at the Outside In show.
Thank you.
Phenomenal success. Selling off the walls. Can't get a Fabian Rey original anymore. You better get them while they're hot.
Exactly, man. You gotta get them when they go out. As soon as I finish them. I'm just kidding. I'm really humbled, honestly, by the whole experience, and I'm really excited too about what we're doing here, in the community and in the art world in Austin.
Yeah, definitely. The show is phenomenal. That opening night, the line was around the door. Luckily, we saw Jane kind of split in, but a lot of people, a lot of eyes on, a lot of people coming
Yeah,
through.
man. The first day was fantastic. It was like insane,
Yeah.
right? It was like packed with a line that I couldn't even believe it.
It was
And
like
real.
50 minutes.
It was a huge line, you know. It was a huge line, and it was people waiting like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
you know. But at the beginning, we thought it was gonna be, you know, not packed.
Right.
We thought it was gonna be a good line because of the COVID. We have to like do everything different because it was COVID. But we put so much love into it that, you know, I knew at least the art community was gonna come
Sure.
and show up. You know,
Yeah, art
show
homies
up.
always show up.
Yeah, this energy, the energy of the art community is very different. It's a connection that you get with them because we're not that many here. So we embrace each other's trip and each other's ideas. That's what I think I love more about the art scene here.
Mhm.
You know, we all want to be all right. We all dig each other's trips and art. And for me, coming from Puerto Rico was like a huge jump from a little island to a city. You know,
Mhm. How long have you been in Austin?
since 2015. I arrived in 2015 with my family. And, you know, I arrived and we didn't know anybody. We came here without, you know, it was the first time I was here. I didn't know anything, anybody. And at the beginning it was a little, it felt a little alone,
Sure.
you know.
It's hard to find your community, find
Yes.
your groove. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard, honestly. You know, people say like, "Oh, you're lucky, man." I don't know about that. Luck doesn't have anything to do with the hours that you put into your work. If you put your time into your work, shit will happen in the long run, you know.
Yeah, you definitely stay on your grind. Keep your work consistent.
I came from advertising, and I got like interviews in advertising, and I was working in and all of a sudden I got like an advertising agency that I fell in love with the name of it. It was called Enviro Media, and they gave me my first job
That's
here
clever.
as an art director, senior art director. But as soon as I stepped in there, I was like depressed because I didn't want to do the same thing I was doing in Puerto Rico. You know, I wanted to you know, to do my art. I was just tired of trying to sell things that people don't need. You know,
Right.
it's cool because I learned a lot. But it's a tiring business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I went to the city with my camera and I started taking pictures of people. I started taking pictures of this girl that was in her petticoat. She had a shirt that said, "I'm a mermaid," something like that. And I thought it was like,
Very awesome.
she was talking to me like, you know, like she was trying to say she was weird, you know, she
Yeah.
was different. So I took my camera and started taking pictures of her, and then I took pictures of another guy that was doing pedicabs, and then I took another one that was a bartender at Uncle Billy, and then I took another bartender. You know, I started like, and all of a sudden I got inspired, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna put this like a series, and I started calling it Creatures of Austin, Criaturas de Austin, and all of a sudden, dude, like. A month after I started that, I started getting calls from bands who wanted me to take pictures of them, who dig the trip. You know, they were like, "Wow, we love it." You know, a guy that I used to love, man, that I was like, when I arrived in Austin, I was always looking at his stuff, at Truth.
Oh,
Before I got here, I was like, what do we have of art in Austin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was looking in the internet and I found him. And I was like, wow, this guy's fucking cool. And all of a sudden, he was following me and saying that he loved my stuff. And I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I did it.
that's
you know?
validation right there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a cool guy.
He's a really cool guy, man. I met him. I went to his. After that, we became friends. I went to his art shows, and he came to our shows.
Oh,
He's a good guy.
yeah, he supports it.
He's a great guy. I was lucky that my dad was a photographer, was a designer, was an artist, was a painter.
Oh, so it runs in the blood?
Yeah. And the DNA. My dad his name is Ricardo Rey, and he's a fantastic artist from Argentina.
Argentina.
And he actually, I was from a young age, I was looking at him and learning. My brothers were into art too, and they were always. My brother Javier and Alejandro were always drawing, and I was just always in the art thing, you know.
Even since a kid.
Yeah. He used to give me like I used to hate it back then, but he used to give me like books, like a blank sketchbooks, and he said like, hey, for you to draw, and I'm like, yeah, but where are the little drawings so I could paint on them? You know what I mean? Like, he's like, no, use your imagination. It's better. I'm like, oh my God, you know, I hated it, but now I get it. You know, He made me use my mind and my creativity to make the next step.
That's awesome. So that's kind of, was that your art education? Your father?
At the beginning that was it, and then I went to an art school in Puerto Rico. It was like a guy called Frank Cervoni in Santurce, Puerto Rico, and he was like an old dude, but he was super cool. He was super into the shadows, into the still drawings. You know, you sit there, and this. You were back in the 70s, you know, like a super old school studio, packed with stuff and paint and you know, things to draw. And I took some classes there, and from there on I was like, I gotta do this. You know, I'm gonna definitely do this. Puerto Rico is a good spot for art. You know, like I was telling you before, Puerto Rico has a badass collection of artists. You know, like we are a small spot, but we're packed with talent. And art for us is like an everyday thing.
Right,
you know?
It's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture. In Puerto Rico, we have so many artists, photographers. I was super lucky to work with a guy called Ernesto Robles, which he was an amazing photographer, and Clay Humphrey, fantastic photographers. And they taught me a lot, you know. Ernesto Robles invited me to Cuba to do like a project that he was doing with old cars, you know, the Fords, and all of these classic cars in Cuba are really well kept because the economy made them hold on to those cars and rebuild them, you know, like, you know, give them like love and putting them out there. And he had this idea to go there and take pictures of them. And I went with him, you know, because I wanted to learn. So I learned a lot from him. I'm a product of a lot of cool people just helping me out too, you know? So you gotta help a lot to grow.
What is your work kind of concerned with? I find lots of times I've seen political messaging in your work. Sometimes your work's very light and free, just kind of easy.
I try to have like concept. I think I got that from advertising. You know, I always wanted to do conceptual art, not necessarily like beautiful faces. I wanted to embrace the conceptual part of it. You know, you're getting into your head that everything has to have a cool concept to make it out.
Sure.
I think that's why my work is selling so much. Palante is like a Puerto Rican slang that means upward, you know, forward.
Okay.
It will be okay. I love this city because this city, since I arrived, they treat me with love and respect, and I appreciate it. All of you guys out there that knows me here, I fucking love you. I wanted to give back with my art, So that's why I say Palante. Austin will fucking be alright. We have so much energy. The city has so much energy, and it's not the same anymore.
Right.
It looks really depressed.
COVID kind of took the steam out of a lot of people.
Yes, but I think we were gonna be alright.
So with your work, what is your creative process? Do you prefer different mediums? I mean, here you got neon.
Yeah,
I see a lot of paintings. You do a lot of paintings, sculptures.
I do a lot of things. It's like I get inspired by the everyday people. Walking around, talking to my son Gael, which I love. He's a unique human. I use paper and pencil, old school, and I sketch everything out. I show it to my son, and then
he has the final say.
Most of the time he has what he says. Not all the time, but most of the time, he has the eye of the tiger.
Gives you that pure insight.
Yeah. Gael has first of all, he has a heart of gold. And second of all, he is very intelligent, like his mother. Super intelligent, he's like Brenda, super intelligent. And he, every time I show him my stuff, he knows, like he said, hey, this could be work for this could work for that. He's trained.
Yeah.
I think I trained his eye without me knowing
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you had a lot of artists here in the show. There was 7 or 8 of y'all. You got Sleep and Richter, Jay Muzak.
Good Luck took one of my stuff. He's a fantastic dude.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic. Squid, him, Matt, Juan, Observer, Richter. Richter is fantastic guy. I love Richter, keeping it real. Louis Yulang is another humble, fantastic artist. I'm lucky, dude. I'm hanging out with you. You're a fantastic artist and a fantastic dude. Jay Musak. Sleep is, oh my goodness, what a fucking great guy.
Talk about conceptual artist.
Yeah.
And he's a super mellow, chill guy.
Nice. Niece is.
She's a badass.
She's a badass. She's not into the I'm beautiful, take pictures with fuck that.
Take
she's
paint
into
on my fingers.
She's into working.
Yeah. She puts in work. She's got a ton of walls around her.
Dude, she did a live painting outside here in outside in. She kicked ass, honestly.
Y'all got a really cool thing over at Something Cool. Just the vibe y'all got over there. Kind of open inclusion.
Yeah, no, Something Cool. Yulang is building on a fantastic spot called Something Cool Studios. I know you know about it, but people out there, if you have a chance, take a look at it. It's all about community, it's all about great art, and it's all about, I think what he created there, and we're working there, the artists that are working there, it's like, I think it's gonna be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got a house packed with 6 artists that are totally different. One from Venezuela, one from Puerto Rico, one from Houston, one from Seattle, one from, you got a big portfolio of crazy guys, So when you put all that into a pot, you get something bigger. So I think I got nothing but love to all my peeps in Something Cool
awesome.
Studio.
It's a great spot. It's a cool spot in town, I think. Honestly.
The coolest. I think it's the coolest. Not because I'm there, but
of course. No shame.
No, fuck it.
Make it over there today.
Yeah, I know, and I think the vibe of the guys there, they're super humble. They're not like, I'm an artist, I'm cool.
Yeah.
So if you're an artist out there and you're listening to me, all I can say is keep doing your art, keep being yourself, and the galleries will contact you. Don't be like, I want to be part of the gallery, I want to be there, I want to be part of it, because honestly, they need you more than you need them. I get it that they are the ones who sell your stuff by $1,000, 3,000, 5,000, whatever. But if you're good and you love what you do and you're passionate, man, you don't need anything else. Because now it's not like when I was younger that we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have all these outlets to let people know that you are there. This art world that we're living is very competitive. Really competitive, but if you put your time and you like I've done, man, things start to happen, dude. Honestly, and to all those artists out there that are young, don't try to be like everybody else. Don't look at Instagram like I want to copy, because then you don't find out who you are.
That's awesome. What is the role of art in the world?
Wow,
that's a big question.
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready
A lot
for
of
that
people
one.
don't even.
I think
If they're doing the written interviews, sometimes they'll just omit that one because they just don't want to.
I think the art world is in a moment where the Instagram has made it very close to everybody. Like everything is very close, like very lookable, tangible, very, when I used to be a younger guy, people were used to saying, "Oh, your work looks like Picasso." I didn't even know who the fuck was Picasso. I'm keeping it real. I didn't know. I was looking at my dad's stuff. My dad was in love with Picasso. But I didn't know. I was just trying to be like my dad. So I think art has to keep that thing in mind. Like that joyfulness.
Sure.
The joy of art is dead. Because we are so trying to be the next Blansky, the next Picasso, the next big thing, that we don't take time to enjoy your art. I think art has to be like that. It has to be joyful again. It has to be cool. It has to be, we were painting outside with Richter and everything fall down and his pants got fucked up and it was beautiful.
And he made that a piece of art.
And we made that a piece of art and we already have people wanting to buy his pants.
Limited edition of
You got me? So it's fun. Don't forget about it. Art has to be fucking fun to be worth it,
So, such a great interview. You answered that so well.
I love you, man. Thank you for having me, man. I feel like, like when I got to Austin, I was like a little sad and depressed that I left Puerto Rico, but I think.
I remember talking to you while you were still down there.
Yeah, I think that when you go out of Puerto Rico, you start to embrace it more, I studied in Fort Lauderdale art, and then I studied in Italy art, in Florence, and then I come to Austin, and art is what made me, who I am, but it made me go through all these bad vibes. If I didn't have art, I would have never gotten here,
That's awesome. Art brought you here.
Yeah.
Dude. All right, thanks for talking with Art of Austin today, man.
I appreciate it so much, man. You guys rock, and I am happy I did this.
Awesome.